98.9, Centre, 97.3, Est-Ouest, 91.7. RM1, it's 9 o'clock. The English news with Ayrece Stewart. Good morning, Ayrece.
Good morning, Sophie.
The headlines.
Acting Prime Minister Paul Béranger demands accountability from the Civil Aviation Authority following private jet from Madagascar landing in Mauritius without approval of Prime Minister's office. Controversy over the 5.5 million rupees golden handshake to former Deputy Governor of the Bank of Mauritius, Ramasitanen, continues to fuel outrage among the public. Mauritius records over 1 million tourist arrivals between January and September 2025, marking a 3.7% increase from last year. Environment Minister Arvin Boulel calls the state of the ponds at SSR Botanical Garden unacceptable after a viral video reveals the near disappearance of water lilies. Discontent grows over the ongoing dog registration campaign at police stations. In world news, Patrick Hermini wins the Seychelles presidential elections in runoff vote. And in sports news, road to 2026 FIFA World Cup heats up as Mauritius faces Libya tonight at Côte d'Or. Around midnight on the night of Saturday to Sunday, a private jet from Madagascar landed in Mauritius. On board were 7 passengers, including the former Prime Minister, as well as the family of businessman Mami Ravotomanga, who fled the country, which was gripped by protests for the last 3 weeks. The flight landed without the approval of the Prime Minister's office, according to Acting Prime Minister Paul Béranger. Visibly angered, he stated that the Civil Aviation Authority will have to take responsibility. On the side of the Mauritian embassy in Madagascar, it was emphasized that the situation is under control. Mauritians who chose to be repatriated have already returned home. According to the ambassador, the violence remains largely localized in certain regions. And moving to news still making headlines, the golden handshake granted to the former Deputy Governor of the Bank of Mauritius, Ramasitanen, continues to spark strong reactions from all sides. In addition to opposition members and several unions, the decision is also drawing heavy criticism on social media, where many internet users denounce what they see as a social injustice. Didier Rose and Pranav Bihari tell us more.
The payment of 5.5 million rupees to Ramasitanen after barely 10 months of service is considered legal but morally shocking by part of the public. While the government preaches budgetary discipline, many see this gesture as a sign of double standards. Trade unionists such as Atma Shanto and Deepak Benidin denounce a two-speed country where the privileged enjoy disproportionate benefits. For others, this case highlights the imbalance between the sacrifices demanded of citizens and the generosity shown towards high-ranking officials. Legally, the state appears to be within its rights, but the moral question remains: should such contracts continue to be signed when the country advocates rigor and fairness?
And now in tourism-related news, tourist arrivals are on the rise despite being the low season. Mauritius welcomed more than 1 million visitors between January and September of this year. According to Statistics Mauritius, this number compares to 971,800 during the same period last year, seeing an increase of 3.7%. In September alone, 102,453 arrivals were recorded, representing a 2% increase compared with the previous month. Anjali Siratan Pulchan tells us more in this report, voiced by Pranav Bihari.
Encouraging figures which, according to Tourism Minister Richard Duval, reflect the sector's lasting recovery. During a ceremony paying tribute to Sir Gaëtan Duval, he expressed satisfaction at this extraordinary result and announced the upcoming opening of Mauritian airspace to new international airlines, including Turkish Airlines, Qatar Airways and Kenya Airways, in order to diversify markets. He also confirmed advanced discussions with Air France and Emirates to increase flight frequency. These initiatives, combined with the appreciation of the euro against the rupee, partly explain this upturn. Statistics Mauritius now forecasts 1.425 million visitors by the end of the year. Richard Duval also defended the €3 per night tourism tax, stating that it will contribute to beach protection and the sustainable development of Mauritian tourism.
Minister Alvin Bulel yesterday addressed the concerning state of the pond at the SSR Botanical Gardens in Pamplemousse. According to a video posted by an internet user, the number of water lilies has drastically decreased and those that remain are in very poor condition. The minister called the situation unacceptable, pointing to a lack of management and maintenance, particularly the cleaning of the pond water. He stated he has called the director and the botanist for an urgent meeting. And in other news, the dog registration campaign taking place at police stations is not unanimous, particularly among some police officers who criticize the measure, saying it interferes with certain of their operations. Contacted for comment, the police communication officer declined to respond. However, Tinagaren Govinda Dasami, director of the MSOR, disagreed, clarifying that the registrations are not conducted inside the police stations. And it's 9:06. You're listening to RM1, where we move to international news. Seychelles' main opposition leader, Patrick Hermini, has won the presidential elections, defeating incumbent Wavell Ramkalawan in a runoff vote, according to official results released by the Electoral Commission. In his victory speech, Hermini vowed to reduce the cost of living, revive public services, and unite the island nation, saying the result marked a new chapter for all Seychellois. The election went to a runoff after neither candidate won an outright majority in the first round of 2 weeks earlier. A former parliamentary speaker, Hermini, was charged with witchcraft in 2023 in what he described as a politically motivated attempt to block his presidential ambitions. The charges were then dropped in 2024, paving the way for him to run for office. And finally, in sports, several groups will deliver their verdicts this Monday with the final FIFA World Cup qualification matches in Group D, where Mauritius faces Libya at 8 p.m. at Côte d'Or. The top spot will be contested between Cape Verde and Cameroon. On paper, Cape Verde is the favorite, but will need to beat Eswatini while Cameroon faces Angola. The Mauritius-Libya match will be broadcast live on NBC 11 starting at 7:50 p.m. That's all from me this morning. Thanks so much for tuning in. Stay tuned now to the Intimate playlist until 10 a.m.